And so yesterday I found myself in the company of a few gentlemen. And of course, especially in Bangkok, when you're around a few guys, the conversation can readily go toward women, chasing women, looking at pictures of women, comparing and contrasting them. And so when I went home last night, laying in my bed, the idea came to me that this part of my life, a part that for so long encompassed a major part of me and my daily activities, was no longer a major component. The idea of going forth and finding a specific mate, someone that might make me happy, someone that might complete me. And this is an idea that pervades society, that we need someone else to make us feel better, to complete us, to spend the rest of our lives together. And if you don't have someone, a girlfriend, a wife, whatever, this is often seen as a problem, something that should be remedied. And for myself, this concept certainly affected me in major ways throughout my life. When I was younger, the idea that I needed to find that perfect someone, and the idea that with all my constraints, the belief that this perfect someone had to be similar to me, had to be someone who had suffered through abuse so that they could understand me, had to be attractive, had to be someone who didn't have that much money, had had that experience, that they were intelligent, and of course that they found me likable as well. And so given all these constraints, I could imagine how incredibly difficult it would be to find such a person. Did such a person exist? If they exist, were they single? Were they available? Did they like me? Would they like me? And so this concept, this idea haunted me, taunted me, and led me to sadness, to depression, to feeling that for all of my life that I would never find someone, that I would be incomplete, that I'd be lonely for all my days. And eventually I found someone. I found someone that I was happy with, that I felt great with, and that didn't work out. And so this one person, when they disappeared from my life, all this emotion, all this happiness, all this great feeling disappeared as well. And once again, that gave birth to sadness, suffering, frustration, pain. And from that, I looked for a way to protect myself from such frustration and pain in the future. And so I began, once again, a new journey of self-discovery, of healing and protection. And of course, mix that in, because that concept still existed, that I needed to find someone to make me whole, to complete me, to add to this package. And this idea is prevalent throughout society, that we need someone to complete us. It's a belief that we see, because we see it everywhere. We see couples, we see people dating, married couples. We see it in advertising, that we need to change ourselves in order to be acceptable for this significant other. And this belief manifests, this belief maps out, carves out a huge portion of many of our lives. So we change who we are fundamentally. We find jobs, we do things that we don't like in order to change ourselves. We buy newer clothes, more attractive clothes. We get jobs that might stress us out so that we can have more money to buy more attractive, fancy objects, cars, houses, whatever, so that we might be more attractive to this person we're hoping to meet, so that we can complete ourselves. And so this idea, again, to reiterate, the idea that we're searching for someone completely dominates our life and changes significantly the way we go through life. And even when we find someone, we, people, humanity, each person is unique, is dynamic and complex. So we continue to change. And the idea that some basic set of criterion can truly encompass a person is ridiculous. So the idea that I'm looking for a woman who's 5'4", that has had a great education, that has blonde hair, blue eyes, is such a minuscule component of what someone really is. And so after going and searching for this person, after changing ourselves to win this person over, once we get to meet them, once we get to know them, we get introduced to all different aspects of who they are, their beliefs, their actions, their friends, their families. An ocean of understanding is revealed. And all these different components are going to resonate or contrast with different belief, this egoic system that we have within us. And it's going to feel good with some things. And it's going to create a lot of dissonance with other things. And it's going to, certainly lead to a lot of problems. And this person is going to change, and we're going to change. And so problems will arise. But we have spent our life searching for something external to fix our problems. So when we have found that solution, the solution that we've been searching for, and there are problems within that, are we equipped with the correct tools to remedy it? Can we solve our own problems? Very few of us have taken the time to delve deep inside of our being, to identify and remedy the source of this problem. And so instead, it's going to be so much easier to blame our partner or to seek a remedy in the bedsheets of someone else. And so this is one issue I have, that this belief that we need to find this one person drives us through life, causes us to do ridiculous things. And people fight, people destroy relationships, people kill each other over this belief, over all this emotion that has been packed into this belief. So incredible things have been done, for good or for bad, if we want to use that language. And then once we find this person, it might last. We might be in a great relationship. We might find someone that gives us happiness, that fulfills us. Or we might find that this relationship isn't all that we thought it would be. And so there's problems. And if that relationship ends, we begin a new section of our life, searching for the next person, searching to change ourselves, or searching for ways to make this relationship work, right? And so what is a different path that we can take? And so instead of saying, this is me, this is who I am, I need to find so-and-so person, instead of letting this ego manifest and drive us through this world, instead of believing that this is who we are and having this small part of reality drive us, investing an incredible amount of attention and energy into it, a better course of action, a course that I have done with my own life, is just to neutralize that, to let that belief go and let what manifests, manifests. Let what the universe will bring to me be brought. And by doing so, I begin to appreciate life. life in all the forms that exist. For example, I still have relationships with friends, with women, with family, whatever it may be. Relationships that I may have not appreciated in the past. Different conversations with people that had fallen outside my spectrum, my idea of who was my ideal mate. And now I can just enjoy whatever it is that comes my way without comparing and contrasting and saying, this is or is not my ideal partner. And from that, I've had great relationships. I've had great encounters with a very wide spectrum of people, and I've enjoyed and learned from a lot of them. Friendships, relationships with family, romantic encounters. And I'm, still motivated to some extent to pursue romantic encounters, relationships, but it doesn't dominate my being. I don't feel a compulsion to change myself, to go on Tinder, to be constantly searching for someone else. There's no longer that drive. And so I'm able to appreciate life as it unfolds in a way that I couldn't, a decade ago, where I felt this need to find that perfect someone. And when the variables weren't right, where that perfect someone wasn't available, I didn't need to think and say, all right, this isn't the situation I want. I need to change it. I can't relax. This isn't what I need. Whereas now I can just continue to enjoy whatever environment I'm thrust upon. And in that environment, opportunities arise, opportunities for different relationships. And this is a path that I think more and more people should try and test out, see what happens as they let go of this idea of needing to find someone else to complete them. For myself, I've absolutely found a lot of meaning and enjoyment out of relationships that just came into being, that manifested without me seeking them. Relationships with people as simple as the vendor that sells food downstairs, or the security guard, or whatever. Constantly we're thrust upon different relationships. And I'm open to that. I'm open to relationships, big and small, short and long term, in whatever capacity. And I think this really needs to be explored, that we as society, we as individuals, if we begin to let go of this need to find someone else, if we begin to accept more and more what is at this moment, then we appreciate life more. And through self-inquiry and surrender, through transformation, through letting go of these impulses, this sense of agency that arises within me, by just letting them fade, letting them go, just feeling good and feeling okay with the present, my life has significantly changed. I'm no longer going about trying to do things to satisfy this part of me that believes that I'm incomplete, that believes that I need something else to be happy, to be full of joy, to be at peace. I am at that state already. I am happy with just who I am. I feel whole, I feel complete, I feel at peace. And this is huge. This is happiness sustained. And I really hope it's something that more and more people can try out, can experiment, to see, to compare and contrast, and to see if it's worth it for them, worth it to get rid of the idea that we need to go out and seek, feeling how that feels and seeing what the results are, versus just letting go of that idea and appreciate life as it manifests, not knowing what's coming, and whatever the universe gives to us, letting that be that gift and enjoying each and everything that presents itself.